What up, people? It's your boy Chig from Gooner Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. That's right, you're through to the chopping block. Now, I didn't want to put African music to this because I feel like it's a serious subject that came up over the weekend, and I kind of want to really explain why. But here is why I believe that Arsenal will call Xhaka's bluff and sell him this summer. Now, for those of you who have been living under a rock and have no idea what happened over the weekend, Xhaka did an interview for whatever reason and came out with a statement that basically said that Arsenal doesn't have to be his last stop, and that he is ambitious and he's ready for his next step. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, I reacted to the headline quite annoyed, to be perfectly honest, because before I get into this, let me state now, I think Granit Xhaka has improved immensely. You know, I've watched people's comments about Granit Xhaka over the weekend. You know, my friend and colleague Lee believes he's been a 3 out of 10 for the season. I wouldn't go as far as to say all that. But given that I gave him a 1 last season, he's definitely more than a 1. Let's put it that way. I think he's improved immensely. I think he's been more consistent, particularly as of late. I remember how he started the season. He didn't start it that great. People forget that because Arsenal fans are they act on recent memory as opposed to taking account of somebody's whole career or how they started the season. And Xhaka didn't have a great start to the season. In fact, as things stand, and you guys know I hate Mustafi with a passion when it comes to, maybe hate is the wrong word. I dislike Mustafi with a passion because I just don't rate him. I think he's pathetic, and I have done for the last 3 years. Having said all that, my man has made more mistakes than Mustafi that have led to goals, us conceding goals. And for all of Xhaka's strengths, do you know, for me, and this is a thing that I must say, and I must get it off my chest. I think when you have to spit bars like, well, you know, to get the best out of that person, he needs to play with this person, or play with these people in front of them, or play with this person next to them, or they have to play in a certain way to get the best out of them. I'm always suspicious, because that tells me that you are not at all adaptable as a player. And in which case, what the fuck are you doing in the team? People make that excuse for Mesut Ozil, for example, all the time. That, oh, well, you know, Mesut Ozil, they didn't play to his strengths. Or, oh, well, you know, we've got Giroud up front, and that's why Mesut Ozil hasn't been able to produce his best. Or, oh, well, you know, Ozil did other things, and if you didn't see what he did, well, then you don't understand the game. And these are the sort of things that I've just recently realised people are starting to spit bars about Xhaka. Oh, well, to get the best out of Xhaka, Torreira is to play him. All right, that's all well and good. What happens when Torreira ain't in the side? And to be fair to Granit, he's shown, as of late, particularly as of late, that he doesn't necessarily need to play with Torreira to get the best out of him. In my personal opinion, with Granit Xhaka, I think this is the best it gets, if you want me to be honest. I think there is a ceiling, and I think there always has been. Because teams, when Granit has played well, it's because the team has failed to press him. That was what amazed me about the United performance, because to me, no, they sat off him. Matic sat off him. And I think they missed Herrera, because Herrera would, believe me, would have sat on Xhaka in that game. Because the one thing I would say about Herrera, he is a nuisance. He's a problem. He's there. He's an energetic engine for them. Sometimes he's a bit of an aimless one. But what I've come to appreciate over recent months, particularly Aaron Ramsey, is sometimes you need a nuisance that's just going to run everywhere. And that is what Herrera does for them. But when you pay Xhaka too much respect, he will take it. And from that reason, I will still say it, I don't think he's a great short passer. But one thing I will say is that he is an excellent long passer of the ball. Excellent long passer of the ball. And offensively, at least offensively, not so much defensively, but offensively, reads the game pretty well. Do I believe there are better number 8s than him? I do. I always have done. We've looked more solid when we had Santi there than when we had Xhaka there. And that's a fact. You know, we just looked better. We were able to move the ball quickly. Transition of play was a lot better. If you ask Mesut Ozil who he'd rather play with in that position, the great Mesut Ozil would even say Santi, because Santi was just an all-round better player and set up transitions a lot quicker. Unless you are 30 to 40 yards away from Granit Xhaka, good luck with that transition of play. And that is what has often led to us conceding goals. And now, again, because I know people will jump on this, let me reiterate, I get that he has played well and he's shown improvement. And the argument is, well, if he's shown this much improvement now, Chick, why are you so confident that he won't improve further? To me, he's 26 years old and it's taken him 3 years to get this far. What in his game leads me to believe that there is more to come? There isn't anything. And I think he's in a league where, honestly, I don't think the league suits him. I think the Italian league will suit him better. I think it's laughable that he sees us as a stepping stone. And make no mistake, that was what that statement was about. You know, I've heard people rush, proper attack a tweet that I put out that went a little bit viral. I didn't necessarily mean for it to go that viral, where I quoted the magazine saying, oh, it's the Daily Star. Well, motherfuckers, the story, I may have quoted it from the Daily Star. It didn't come from the Daily Star. That's a first thing. Secondly, I had people saying to me, oh, well, clearly he's talking about the end of his career. Did he? Show me where in the article. I had one feisty guy tell me, oh, well, clearly you didn't read this article. Really? How do you figure that out? Oh, but clearly he's talking about the end of his career. I think it's you who didn't read the article, mate. Because show me where in that article it says end of his career. I didn't see that. I saw next step to his career. That's what I saw. So then the flip side of this argument is, well, Chief, what's the problem? You know, one might say to me, you as a HR person, as an employee, do you envisage finishing your career where you are, or do you see yourself moving on? Do you see yourself moving beyond that role and above it? To me, I think there is no issue being ambitious. None whatsoever. I don't front on him. But there's two things I'd say to that. A, why say such a thing now? Let's be honest, our business end of the season, where everybody needs to be focused and players shouldn't be distracted, wondering, well, fucking hell, if one of our most important players is looking to leave, maybe I should consider my future as well. Why would you distract the team with your bullshit? Why? And then the other thing that I don't understand, because surely the standard answer for me would be, listen, I'm fully focused on the role and the job that I have now, and, you know, never say never in football, but I'm comfortable here, I'm happy here, and I'm focused on the job that I need to do. Isn't that the standard football answer? Not, oh, well, I'm looking for the next step in my career. To me, that's like you're putting feelers out. That tells me that you were looking for willing customers. And bruh, where the fuck do you think you're going to go? That's the other thing I don't understand. That's the thing I don't get. Where on earth, who on earth do you think is going to come and purchase you? I don't understand what your thought process is there. Do you think Barcelona are going to come in for you? No, mate. And if they do, you ain't started, son. Let me tell you that now. Even the shit that is Real Madrid, as I record this, they ain't looking for you, son. They ain't looking at you. There's a reason for that. For all the people that are rushing to his defence, there's a reason these people aren't interested in Granit Xhaka so he can take his next step. So to me, Granit, don't worry about your next step. Don't worry about your stepping stone. You focus on the job at hand, and if you want to bounce that badly, then bounce. And I think that brings me to my overall point. Why do I think the club would? Because it's very clear that I would. And I know that's what you're thinking. Actually, before that statement, Granit Xhaka wouldn't have been on my chopping block. Because to me, he's shown enough improvement, at the very least, to be a squad player for me next year. He wouldn't have made my chopping block. But I have to question one's commitment if he is looking elsewhere. And I compared this. I like, what's his name? I like, no, it's not Clive. Oh, black geezer from the Gooner Ramble. I've forgotten his name. Sorry, mate. I've completely forgotten his name. He follows me. Good guy. But me and him got into a back and forth because he didn't understand why I was vexed. Well, to me, I was vexed at the timing of this. I didn't understand why he felt the need to come out with this statement. I thought it was an irresponsible statement for people, especially from someone who people are campaigning hard to be captain. No, thank you. I don't want him as my captain. But ultimately, I think what I believe will end up happening is the club will say, well, let's call this bluff because he's, for better or worse, whether you rate the kid or not, he's an asset. He's one of the few players who've actually got signed to a long-term contract. He signed a new contract last June, if you remember. So, to me, I think Emre likes him because he constantly plays him. So I think he likes him. But I think the club might take a view of, well, we've got 40 million. We may be able to find better. And you know, at the moment, Arsenal are scouting several players that I actually think are better. And I'm not going to do a Lee and start telling you about 3 replacements that I would go with. That's his thing. I ain't trying to encroach on that. But there are a couple of players that we're looking at that actually are Santi Zola types. A tweet I actually put out today, that they are Santi Zola types. And I like that idea. I like the idea of potentially putting a Torreira in there. Or maybe if you bring Chambers in and you decide to keep him in that defensive midfielder spot, and then a Cazorla type, because to me, we always look solid when a Coquelin, say, came in, broke up play, gave it to the better player in Cazorla, and then Cazorla would then create something. I liked us playing like that. I got a feeling that Emre likes the idea of playing like that too. So why not play like that? For me, I can see us bringing in someone like that as a deep-lying playmaker type who is combative and can start transitions of play quickly. Not none of this Granit Xhaka backwards, slowly. Let me see if I can try and hit a 40-yard pass. Maybe I might make it type shit. I mean, consistent short passes, long passes, whatever is needed for that situation. Fact of the matter is, yes, he's improved. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's shit. But I am going to tell you that if you want to bounce, bounce. I only want players who are committed to playing for the club. And yeah, it's a romantic idea, maybe overly so, for anyone to realistically believe that a player will stay his whole career. I can completely understand that. I'm not necessarily asking for that. But surely it's not too much to ask for someone to be committed to the cause. Someone who will at least... Sorry, people are walking past, this is why I'm distracted. Someone who will at least stay and fight for that team and not be distracted by potential future moves that may possibly never happen. I got to admit, I don't understand the mentality. I don't get the mentality. And I think the club might say to themselves, well, we need to top up our transfer kitty somehow. Maybe we get a Granit Xhaka who's on 100,000 a week off the books. Get 40 million for him. I think we could get 40 million for him. 26-year-old, long-term contract. Somebody perhaps outside of the Premier League might fancy it. Don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about like a Juventus. But, you know, someone like an AC Milan may fancy it. They may fancy it. And I say, if you want your stepping stone, there you go. Go and have your freaking stepping stone. I just find it insulting and infuriating. And I'm baffled by the people defending this. I'm baffled. But each to their own. You guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, crush, destroy, drop kick the shit out of that like button. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. Only what you have to say. Arguments, people, not insults or you don't know what you're talking about. Why don't you just tell me what exactly it is you disagree with? All right? Let me know. All right, I'm out of here. And tomorrow, I'm going to be back with my final chopping block of the March break. And it's going to be a double sitter. You're going to see who that is. You know one of them is Nacho Monreal. But who's the other? I'll catch you tomorrow. Take